Here we go with our first round mock draft straight out of our draft league. This is GrimeCast Media. This is a real mock. This is 32 general managers, 32 independent minds that are drafting for their team. I happen to draft for the Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, we're nerding out, full bore nerding out right now on this stuff. And you see it already. Caleb Williams, #1 overall to the Bears. It was a very simple report for his draft reasoning. The Bears need a quarterback. They traded away Justin Fields, and it's the Bears. So they get Caleb Williams here, #1 overall. You get Drake May out of North Carolina, going to the Washington Commanders, another quarterback needy team. We have Jaden Daniels right here, who was my favorite quarterback all season, and a lot had him in the top 15, but look at him right here. He goes #3 overall to the New England Patriots, another quarterback needy team. They trade away Mac Jones. And now right here, Marvin Harrison to the Arizona Cardinals. I'll give you my thoughts. I think Marvin Harrison should be the #1 overall pick. Yeah, I know there's some quarterback needy teams there, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is the next level. People use the word generational talent. I'm going to use that for Marvin Harrison Jr. He's 6'4". He's a beast. He's a beast. He's probably Megatron. So you just got to look at it that way, man. And Marvin Harrison Jr., we all know, man, we paid the price in drafting Jamarcus Russell. Raiders were a quarterback needy team in 2007, but, what type of different Raider team would have developed with a guy like Megatron versus Jamarcus Russell? So I'll leave thoughts there. Type in the comments what you think about that. So the Chargers, they end up going wide receiver here for Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU, to replace Keenan Allen, who they lost in free agency. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull up his report. Oh, here we go. That's what he wrote. Was hoping for Harrison, but alas, I'll settle for the really awesome consolation prize. Easy to think the Chargers might go offensive line here. Is it a tradition? That's a need for them. And also, that seems like Harbaugh thing to do. But 2024 NFL says get more weapons, especially when you're the Chargers and you just pissed away Keenan Allen. So they're kind of giving, and Austin Eckler in their primes, and somehow will end up in cap hell and had to get rid of Mike Williams too. So here we are. I didn't read that report. That's good. I just read that for the first time, and I enjoyed it. And I'm sorry, that was the 5th pick. Did I say the 6th pick? I hope I didn't. But anyway, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver to the Chargers. And yes, no way in hell Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to 5. I just don't see that happening. So the Giants at #6, they get Rome Odunze, wide receiver from Washington. He was Michael Penix's go-to wide receiver. So let's see what they wrote. I'll just see what they wrote. With Drew Lock signed as competition for Daniel Jones, the Giants focus on adding a big wide receiver that brings a different element to their wide receiver group. Odunze is a polished receiver coming from a system that will help him transition into the NFL. The Giants love his route adjustments, his ability to win contested catches, and expect presence immediately to improve the offensive production. Cool. Right on. Good job, dude. Got yourself a wide receiver there for the Giants. So let's see here with the 7th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans. They select Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame. They just stated the time and place that they made their pick, so that's all done there. No report. Now with the 8th pick, I think this guy said something here. Oh, no, he didn't say anything that resonated to me. But anyway, this guy takes Dallas Turner. He takes Dallas Turner, #8 overall for the Falcons. I'll speak on that. I think that's a good pick. I mean, why not? Take an edge rusher from Alabama when you can, man. And in this draft, because you saw Will Anderson Jr., Defensive Rookie of the Year. So why not? Right here, the Bears, they get some protection for Caleb Williams there. They select Talise Fuaga, nasty offensive tackle from Oregon State. He's intriguing. And like I said, very deep offensive line class. You guys have heard it over and over again. So right here with the 10th pick, this was acquired from the Jets in a trade. The Vikings move up, and they take J.J. McCarthy, quarterback. So he did not write a report on it. Some are saying he reached on this pick. That's some of the comments behind it. I'm going to leave it at that. But he did not put a report for J.J. McCarthy. And we're going on to the 11th pick in the NFL draft. Damn, I keep dropping my phone, man. Sorry, guys. Got a stack of papers in my phone here. I'm just reading what they wrote online, that's all. And it keeps sliding off the damn paper. Matter of fact, I don't need the notes anymore. I'm going to go with their notes. Let's do this. All right. The 11th pick, the Jets. They get the best tight end in the draft, Brock Bowers. Final piece to Rodgers' arsenal this year. The Jets are going all in, and I feel Bowers can play the slot, move tight end as they go to 12 personnel in their base offense. He's 6'3", 243 pounds. No testing was done due to injury for his combine. So I'll speak on this a little bit. He did post his stats. I'll speak on this a little bit. I'm glad Brock Bowers is going out of the top 10. And the reason why I stated that is because, man, I mean, you saw the Atlanta Falcons reach a few years back and getting Kyle Pitts number 4 overall. That really hasn't paid off for them. Brock Bowers came into this thing super hyped this year. And so I'm glad he kind of fell out of the top 10 in our draft. It just looks better. And he's a good fit for Aaron Rodgers, like the guy that drafted for him, the Jets general manager, the Jets internet general manager that drafted him. So let's get into the 12th overall pick by the Denver Broncos here. And like I said, most of these guys, like this guy's a Broncos fan right here. So he's obviously drafting for need and with a little bit of heart in there, man. So let's read what he wrote and why they drafted Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State. Talented edge rusher with the field demeanor, athleticism, and skill to rack up statistics in key categories fairly early in his NFL career. Verse dominated at Albany and then showed the ability to do the same at Florida State. He's twitchy and compact with explosiveness and features the point of attack in his upfield burst as a pass rusher. Cool. He can play up or down and should be consideration for all defensive schemes looking to add a safe, high-impact edge. So cool, man. He listed his strengths, weaknesses, you know. You don't know much about Jared Verse? Do your research on him, man. See what you think, man. But this guy drafted him for the Broncos. And here we go with Raider Dave and his pick and Quinyon Mitchell. I'll follow up with my report in case you missed yesterday's video. His career, I listed his stats. And that is, with the 13th overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. He had 93 tackles in his career, solo tackles, 7.5 for tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 6 interceptions, and 45 passes defensed. He had 2 defensive touchdowns, and that's his career stats. And I'll just sum it up very simply. The cornerback from Toledo is a perfect complement to cornerback Jack Jones and adding another route-recognizing defensive back for the Raiders. As Mitchell continues to hone his craft and refine his techniques, the possibility for his NFL career seems limitless, and he looks poised to make waves in the NFL. List him as the best cornerback in the Senior Bowl, plays with accuracy, timing, and keeps play in front of him. You know, and he's a good run defender with only 3 missed tackles in 2023. I summed it up very, very simply there. Very simple. And, you know, we did pass on this guy right here that goes next, and that's Oli Fashanu, offensive tackle from Penn State. Probably one of the highest upsides for offensive tackle in this draft. Some have him better than Joe Alt. It's going to be a huge, we're going to see how these things unfold, man, because probably a lot of these guys are going to go in the first round. But it's going to be more interesting to me to see who falls, because those second, third round, fourth round picks, they are so crucial, man, to building your roster. So the Saints, they do right here. They get the guy that they should draft. And I should have I did consider him, don't get me wrong, but we just, like I said, we're looking to do something on defense here. Defense is our strength, and we're going to build that strength. We're going to add to that strength as we go, but we're going to see what AP and company do. But the Saints, they do the right thing here. They get Fashanu. They get him to protect Derek Carr. They get Derek Carr some insurance there, much needed. Moving on here, number 15, Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Next off the board, number 15 to the Colts. You got the Cardinals. They traded up here. They get Terrion Arnold. They trade up with the Seattle Seahawks here, and they get Terrion Arnold, the athletic cornerback from Alabama, working out his pro day with Antonio Pierce on scene. Remains to be seen, you know, if the Raiders are truly interested in Arnold or if they're truly interested in going offensive line. So give me your thoughts on that. Number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They drop another corner here. They get number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They select another corner here, Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson University. And then you got number 18, J.C. Latham, another good pick here. Good offensive line prospect, Alabama, J.C. Latham. And number 19, the Rams, man. They have Aaron Donald. He retires. Calls it a 10-year career. And by the way, we play the Rams at the Rams next year. They don't have Aaron Donald, but we'll have Max Crosby. We'll have Christian Wilkinson, so I'm pumped. But they got to get a guy here, so they go Latu, edge rusher from UCLA. He stays in Southern California, and he's going to don that Rams uniform out there in SoFi Stadium. So moving on next, number 20, I like this pick but I was waiting for this guy to fall. I was actually waiting for him to fall, but he is very intriguing, and that is Amarius Mims, the offensive tackle from Georgia. Like I said, maybe a little high for me there, but give me your thoughts. Right here, number 21, you got Cooper DeJean, dude. Like this guy right out the gate, man. This guy's a pick-6 machine, safety out of Iowa. Maybe he's a corner. We'll see. But Cooper DeJean, good fit here from Miami. You know, they've had to release some players this year. You saw they couldn't even re-sign Christian Wilson. You know how big of a deal that is for us to get Christian Wilkinson straight out of his rookie contract. Number 22, Byron Murphy, the second defensive tackle out of Texas. Texas got a lot of good players on that defense, man. A lot of good players coming out of that Texas University in this draft. The Eagles, I think that's a good pick for them right there. Byron Murphy. And you know what? I'm skipping on the reports. What am I doing? Pretty much guys said the same thing that I said about Aaron Donald for the most part. Cool. So here we go. Let's get on to the Minnesota Vikings here. Chop Robinson, edge rusher from Penn State. Let's see what they wrote. Nothing. Didn't write nothing. And with the 24th pick, the Cowboys, they select the center out of Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson. Good pick for them. Moving on here to the 25th overall pick with the Green Bay Packers. They get a guy I truly wanted. Hopefully who was going to... I would have actually traded up to get this guy. I was kind of hoping he'd fall a little bit, but I would have traded up to get him, and that's Troy Fautanu. Offensive tackle from Washington. Definitely probably one of the better prospects, in my personal opinion, for the offensive line class. I know he doesn't have the size of the other guys, but you know that was one of the more intriguing offensive linemen in this draft. Now, 26, Kool-Aid McKinstry, the cornerback from Atlanta. We have two cornerbacks going from Alabama in the first round here. And I'll write what they wrote. 5'11", 199, phenomenal man coverage, who I think slipped in this draft due to a foot injury that prevented him from testing at the combine. I understand. While the Bucs use a lot of zone schemes, McKinstry has tested a plus football IQ and should be able to adapt quickly. McKinstry will fill a need in the Bucs secondary like Kool-Aid to a 10-year-old in August. Okay, I got you. Cool. You know, I think it's a good fit because their defense is pretty well established. They did lose Devin White, but yeah, I think Tampa Bay they got something there on their defense, man. They got a lot of continuity, so I think McKinstry could fit in well. I think that's a good pick for the Bucs. Now the Seahawks, they're up next. They get Johnny Newton. They have him listed here at Johnny Newton. Nice. He was my favorite defensive tackle in this draft, man. You know, I was watching him at 13 for the Raiders all the way through December, all the way through January, a little bit into February, and then, like I said, the cornerback class. I'm a sucker for corners, and the defensive back position, and so that's where I'm kind of stuck right there with Quinyon Mitchell. But this was a guy that I was heavily considering for months, and once we got Christian Wilkinson, that changed. So number 28. I know it's a little high here for him. I think it is too. Kamari Lassiter, man, the cornerback from Georgia. He could be one of the better cornerbacks, though. So I do understand why he gets picked here. Number 28. Let's see what the Bills wrote about him. They did do a write-up on him. They are proud to select Kamari Lassiter from the University of Georgia, a solid playmaker who has been on 2 national championship teams. He knows how to win. He's a day one starter in the backfield in need of replacement for the departed Tre'Davious White and their heir apparent to the number 1 role. So, I want to say something about that. Now, Georgia University in their secondary, we drafted Chris Smith the 3rd or the 2nd. I can't remember. Chris Smith, man. He was one of my favorite defensive backs for Georgia, man. Chris Smith's going to be one to keep an eye out this year, man. Whether he, what type of role is Chris Smith going to develop into a starter, man? So that's just one thing. Chris Smith intrigues me big time. Raiders draft pick last year. Got him in the 5th round. So yeah, anyway, Georgia defensive back made me pulled up that thought there. So next, 29th overall, Jordan Morgan. Offensive tackle from Arizona. He's 6'5", 311. He's athletic in his lower half with the ability to redirect his weight in space. Runs with hips under his hands, grip strength to stay connected and run blocks longer. Well-timed combo blocks feature patience and pop. He just threw some, has the potential to play tackle or guard. So he basically got a versatile offensive player here. He's got the size to play tackle, Like he said, the ability to move and kick inside the guard if need be. And here, man, this was an interesting situation here. The Ravens, they ran out of time. Time had expired on them. But the next good player to fall right into their lap was Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. It's a great pick for them. And now the San Francisco 49ers lost a heartbreaker in the Super Bowl, man. Whew, almost Super Bowl, damn near Super Bowl champions with 3 seconds on the clock. They get themselves Graham Barton, a guard, center, offensive tackle out of Duke. This guy can play all 3 positions. And, I lost my spot, damn it. And now with the final pick for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we were in a trade. We were discussing trade. Oh, my gosh. And this guy puts it like this, dude. I have to say it. I don't want to say this, but this is what oh, man. You know what? It's important we hear this. He's being funny at the same time. This is a real Chiefs fan, by the way. Taylor Swift steps to the podium with the 32nd pick in the mock draft. The 4-time, you make sure it known, he reminds everybody they are 4-time, and currently, back-to-back, he put it all in red, and currently, back-to-back world champion Kansas City Chiefs select from the University of Missouri defensive lineman Darius Robinson. With in bold letters, he says 3-peat. Let that sink in, man. 6'5", 285 pounds, 34-inch arms, 10 and 5/8 hand. He's got 10-inch hands, 10 and 5/8 inches hands. How the fuck do you say that? I don't know. Who cares? But, I don't know. He listed all of his traits. I'm just going to go into what he said. All the rage at the Senior Bowl. The Chiefs officially interviewed him there. I see him as a similar prospect to Chris Jones. Be careful. Slow down there, buddy. Chris Jones is rare. Not a typical DT, tall and lean, but heavy enough and strong enough to play inside and athletic enough to move outside, which he did his final years at Miz. Basically he's saying the Chiefs did enough in free agency. And he's saying the Ravens might take this guy at 30. But anyway, I think I've had it with this mock draft, man. So anyway, let me know what you think, man. This is how our mock went down. This is what it looks like. Until the next one, we'll be back for our second round pick. We're about 4 picks away. I'll do a quick double check on the league. And to my knowledge, Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington. We're at pick number 39. Raiders are picking at number 44. We're 5 picks away, and Michael Penix Jr. is still on the board. It's coming my way, man. Let's see what goes down. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.